Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing as the New York Knicks take care of business tonight at MSG, winning 110-93. And how sweet it is. In the words of Clyde, happy 80th birthday to Walt Frazier, the legend. And the Knicks did the business, winning their 47th win on the season. Let's talk about it. Let's give out the grades, because OG, Demon Obi, right now, is leveled up, man. He is leveling up in time for the playoffs as well. We got some updates on Jalen Brunson's return soon as well. No Deuce, no Pain, no JB tonight. No problem, as the New York Knicks wing stop is fully operative, open, and serving all you can eat right now. I'm fired up. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in, Knicks Nation. Great win. Clyde's birthday. And let's celebrate this one tonight together. Smash that like button, because Mikal Bridges is absolutely on a tear as well, right? Mikal Bridges was fantastic. He carried the offense for the most part, but the ball was moving as well. And the New York Knicks defense had to buckle down and arrest a 14-point deficit in the second half, right? Donovan Clingan got in foul trouble, and I think that changed the ball game completely as well. Duop Reith came in. Mitch played some good defense as well. Coming in off the bench, Delon Wright got the start in this one, and it was a solid effort with Tyler Kolek backing him up. But the Wings, on a down night from Karl Anthony Towns, the Wings stole the show, man. A++ for the wing stop, 2 game balls to go with it, fam. Tendrell's in the building, 80 years of Clyde. I hope he's celebrating tonight like us. Daniel, Jet Life, salute. Chance's wing stop came through. CC, Space Ghost, salute. Knicks family. What was your big takeaways in this one, man? Look, first half wasn't great, but I felt like Portland were going to live and die by the 3, and our pick and roll defense was very lackadaisical, and we definitely picked things up aggressively, like OG said. We got into their grills a bit more as well. But yeah, Donovan Clingan getting in foul trouble was big time. And of course, man, one of the game balls tonight, OG Anunoby, with 28 points. But the steals there, man, turning on the Jets. Absolute beast mode right now. Should be all defense this season, man. OG Anunoby knows that he's up for that team, all defensive team. By the way, Jalen Brunson has to play 4 more games to make all NBA. And there's a great chance he'll be back. We'll hear from him later tonight. He gave an interview, and he's looking and feeling good right now, doing basketball activities, cleared for basketball activities is the Cat. But OG Anunoby was phenomenal in this one, guys. And, he was the difference maker once again on the defensive side. We had to battle a lot of things, not just the Blazers. We had to battle horrendous officiating, right? Thibodeau was livid, man. He was livid because we had to use up multiple challenge calls, correct calls, to overturn incorrect follies from these officials, man. I don't know what they were looking at. From a lot of the players were just simple, straight off of a Portland player. But man, we did it. We did it tonight, man. CC says this one was needed for team development. I think the belief is growing, but obviously, yeah, get a gritty win. You have to do it on the defensive side. Obviously, offensively, man, you got to get Cat going. I think that's the next step. But, you can't say enough about Bridges and OG. Defensively, we rely on them. But who would have thought that those two would be the guys to step up and carry the offense in a major way, for 48 minutes? I think that's going to be key. Because, look, when Brunson gets back, we don't yet know what version of JB we're going to get, And obviously, Josh Hart getting out in transition is going to be super key as well. But what a block from there on OG as well. Defense turning into offense in this one, man. Space Ghost says it, OG Super Beast Mode. He's moved from OG Beast Mode, he's OG Demon Obi now, man. He's a demon on both sides, man, and he's found another gas tank, man. Ever since the I don't know exactly when, but it was the All-Star break or when he came back. He looked a little rusty after that layoff, and then he just flipped a switch, man, and he's playing absolutely out of his mind right now. As the Knicks had an 8-point deficit in the first half, guys. Let's rewind. Let's recap the first half, and then salute and tip off the conclusion. But Precious Achua gave us really good minutes in the first half. The second quarter, Precious Achua had 8 straight points for the team. I'm going to give Precious an A- because he was extremely active, jamming on dudes, and he looked definitely more engaged. So that is good for the future. Seeing a more locked in Precious Achua. He's got a lot to play for. He's on a free agent deal coming into the offseason right now. His minutes have been docked a little bit, but 5 of 6 from Precious tonight was big time minutes. Finished with 10 points, 2 rebounds in 10 minutes. So that was some good bench scoring. Next up, Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet's bench scoring tonight as well with 11 points, hitting those threes. Landry, man, great to see him as we see Precious spinning and winning on that play. But I really felt like, Landry Shamet's found his shot. And I feel like it's taken a minute for him to, to rehab from the shoulder and really get into that groove right now. But he's playing solid two-way ball, good on the defensive side. But now, finally, we're seeing Landry really become the shooter that we felt like he could be. When he was signed, 4 of 9, 3 of 6 from distance, gave us 4 rebounds and a steal, 11 points, and a team high, plus 22. Man, basically he was a plus in every minute. In 19 minutes, plus 22 tonight from Landry. So another pleasing addition to this kind of win, getting contributions from our bench. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give Precious an A- and Landry an A for their two-way play tonight. And like CC says, when JB gets back, these other guys being in the groove, it has to gel. It has to gel. It's going to be interesting, man. Is Tibbs going to go 9? Is he going to go 8? There's 8 more games remain. Obviously, Philly on Tuesday, the start of a back-to-back. And then we have Cleveland after that. We have 2 more against Cleveland, too. So, Tendrell says Shamet outscored Towns. Yeah, he was active. They were definitely locking down Towns with Klingon. And Towns was battling some demons tonight. But it's next man up, and he really stepped up. Johnny Davis in the building. Great to see you. Says, what up? Wright is not blowing us away, but it is strange we're winning with him starting. Great point. I think 10 years in the league, he knows how to play. He's got limitations. I gave Delon Wright a B for tonight. He's not flashy. He's not going to blow no one off the dribble. He just gets the ball moving, but he plays defense. Delon Wright is not the level of Deuce McBride, but he's probably the closest thing at the point guard in terms of defense, right? And definitely, I think it was a worthwhile trade, getting rid of Jericho and balancing the roster out, ladies and gentlemen. After last game, when Wright showed out in Milwaukee, he tweeted out a little subliminal, and I responded, and a lot of fans responded as well. But what I responded was with my reaction to the Delon Wright trade. I said, Delon Wright is going to bring some D. He adds some balance to the roster at the point guard spot. And with Huck Porty stepping up and Mitch returning, Sims was basically a surplus. And what happened next? Delon Wright showed us some love, man. Delon Wright liked the tweets. He sees it. He reads all of Knicks Twitter. He reads what the fans are saying pre and post trade. Also, the last game when he was given the starting situation before ahead of Tyler Kolek. And so, yeah, I showed him our reaction, and I think, Delon Wright appreciated that. So he is interactive with the fans on X, on Twitter as well. So, hey, next man up. I think Delon Wright's got playoff experience. I think he's going to be a guy that will be situational in the playoffs, of course. But if a guy goes down and we need some help, I think he's shown to be playable now. I think, right, at the very least, he's playable. He's serviceable. 3 of 6 from the field. Finished with four rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 7 points, and a +8. Fam, I'll take it. I'll take it, fam. Jericho Sims ain't giving us, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, +8 in 30-something minutes. So, look, Deuce is going to get back real soon. The update is that Deuce McBride is very close. In the words of Tibbs, very close. I do think that Deuce is going to be back in the next few games. And I do think JB will be back with probably the final week of the season with 4 to 5 to play. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. MD in the house says Wright plays defense. You're going to get minutes with Tibbs. Yep, if you can play defense, fam. G Money says OG and Mikal B 6-piece barbecue Wingstop combo with Pepsi and Coke to go with that one, fam. Al Tango says, yes, CT, it's money time. We didn't sign PJ. I think someone else is coming. What do you think? I'm glad you mentioned that, fam. I'm glad you mentioned that. For those that don't know, PJ Tucker, 10-day contract, his second 10-day contract has expired. And so there is talk that he could still come back, but the Knicks might be deciding, do they convert Marjon Beauchamp? I think that's the decision, fam. Beauchamp's a young body. You bring him in for the playoff ride. Maybe. I was thinking they were going to cut Delon Wright and sign PJ Tucker and, bring up Beauchamp. But it's now looking like PJ Tucker might not come back. It might be Beauchamp's spot. Maybe Leon's heard some feedback. Maybe they really like what they're seeing from Beauchamp in practice and feel like, having an extra active body might be the key. TJ Warren also is no longer with the Westchester Knicks, right? There's been a parting of ways between TJ Warren and the Westchester New York Knicks. So rumors going around that obviously TJ Warren was looking for a call up. He didn't get it. And obviously he's on to the next thing. We wish him well. We wish him well, fam. I don't think TJ Warren is going to get called up now, man. He was balling out. He was hoping for that shot, but it never came right now. But the Knicks heading into tonight's game were ranked second in the NBA in assists to turnover ratio over the last 5 games, man, at 2.77. So our backup point guards, man, shout out to them. Shout out for holding us down. Second in the NBA over the last 5 games, man, in assist to turnover ratio. So shout out to for that stretch, Tyler Kolek, campaign for some of that, and Delon Wright as well. GK says Delon stays. Yeah, I agree. I think he's taken his shot, and I think he stays. I mean, it's tough to see him getting cut now, man. The guys starting. AP agrees. Tendrell agrees. Wright earned his spot for sure. Do we get an Okeke, Michael? That is a possibility, man. It really is puzzling why they didn't, re-sign PJ Tucker immediately. So I do think they got something in the works, man. I won't be mad if it is Okeke. I won't be mad if it is Marjan Beauchamp. Dardier was active tonight. He was on the bench, but he didn't get any minutes in this one. As we celebrate 80 years of Clyde, let us know your favorite thing about Clyde, man. Obviously, Game 7 at the top. His coolness, man, I appreciate. We've all learned a lot from Clyde, listening to Clyde over the years. My favorite Clydeism is there's many, man. There's many. There's a lot that sticks out. Various stretches of the eras that I've been a Knicks fan. I like slicing and dicing when guards like Hart cuts to the rack. Jalen Brunson, of course, Ray Felton, Stephon Marbury, slicing and dicing. Linsanity was one of them, man. I like slicing and dicing, getting to the cup. Man, 80 years, hopefully many, many more to come. We're blessed to have, not only Clyde as a Knicks legend, but obviously still with us on the broadcast, man. 2-time Hall of Famer and big time night, fam. As we go 20 games above 500 again, let's take a look at the road ahead because there is 8 games remaining, some very important games to play, fam. Philly on the road on Tuesday, and then back home on the second of a back-to-back against Cleveland, who have experienced a little bit of turbulence recently. They had a big win today as well, so we'll chop that up and more, fam, as well as I'll give you my favorite play of the game. Let us know what you think was your favorite play of the night, and I'll shout it out. I love this pass from Josh Hart, finding Delon under the bucket. Hart was a little funky, man, in the first half, and but his ability to get double-digit assists in his sleep is what I love about Josh Hart, man. I mean, the guy couldn't put the ball in the ocean. He just wasn't looking at the basket. They were sagging off, and that could be a major problem heading into the playoffs. But he tries his best to basically reverse that with his court vision right now. And what a bullet pass from that one, man. That was probably one of my favorite plays of the night, man. And he still gets an A- because of how he finished the game. James B says Delon has to stay because he plays solid defense. Yep. Also, has Delon Wright arguably leaped ahead of Cameron Payne in the rotation? Let us know what you think. I really feel like some Deuce McBride, Delon Wright, man, that could have some point guards in jail. Some opposing point guards in jail, man. Michael Drake says, happy birthday, Clyde. Styling and profiling is your one, man. Tendrell says, I love Clyde's honesty. When the Knicks are slacking and lacking, he points that out. Great point. Also, did you hear the little shot at Tibbs? It was a little shot at Tibbs on his 80th birthday, man. He said, this is what Tibbs is criticized for, keeping guys out there. He tells it like it is, man. No bias. I mean, the guy's on the Knicks payroll. The guy on the Knicks payroll, and he still calls it out, man, because that's Clyde, man. The guy's come up through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. He's seen it all, man. He's seen it all. And God bless him as well. We need more people like that. We need more people like that. We all know Breen can call some things out, but he does bite his tongue. Clyde completely unfiltered, man. Completely. AP salute says he's looked the same all my life. He doesn't look stressed, man. Yeah, stress-free. I think that'll do that to many people as well. Found the fountain of youth as well. I hope he doesn't retire as well, man. Imagine if we get another 5 years plus of Breen and Clyde, man, and they're together on the call. That's right, when we're all celebrating this, man. 3-time New York Knicks NBA World Champs with Breen and Clyde, hopefully on the call, man. That would be a fitting end, man. That would be a fitting farewell. If we can do that, if Clyde gets re-upped for another, another 5 years, hopefully, fam. But yeah, this was a total team effort. Just to highlight tonight and what this win really means is that obviously no Deuce, no Payne, no JB, limited minutes from Kat, Kolek, Mitch, and it was a team effort. One of Precious Achua's best games in a minute, one of Landry Shamet's best performances as a Knick. No minutes from McCullough or Dardier, no minutes from Huckporty. Delon Wright, Kolek stepping up, man. I'm proud. I'm just proud of the team tonight. You could say that the Blazers are a lottery team, but you could also say that they are 32 wins. They've got They've got about the same amount of wins as the Miami Heat, who are in the play-in. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blazers only have one less win than the Miami Heat. You got the Heat on 33. Flip over to the West. You got the Blazers on 32. So if the Blazers were in the East, they'd be a play-in. They'd be a play-in team, no doubt. But yeah, the Knicks have got to learn to turn the water off from three. And the Blazers were very 3-point happy, and it paid off. But everything was going down, and I just knew that the water was going to get turned off. Despite being down at the half, I was confident. Still, I was confident that we were going to win the ball game. And look at that, man. We absolutely locked them down in the fourth quarter. The Blazers finished with 15 points in the fourth to the Knicks 31. So, yeah, feel good win. We look ahead to what's coming up now. Got still one of the toughest schedules remain. Shout out to Buzzer Beater for that. And no doubt that the New York Knicks can get to 52 wins, I feel. There's a real possibility right now. We'll also take a look in a minute with the NCAA March Madness going on. The New York Knicks draft standing is in the 53rd pick, with the Memphis Grizzlies struggling. The New York Knicks are getting a second-round draft pick that's actually creeping up. It is creeping up. I'll talk about later about some prospects that I'm looking at, man. But looks like March Madness Final Four now. We got Auburn versus the Gators, and we've got Duke. Duke facing it out, man. They're going to play... who are they playing again? I forget, man. Duke's playing someone, and we've got Auburn versus the Gators, man. Houston, that's right, Houston. Quentin Grimes' old team as well. So that's going to be very interesting, man. G Money says our magic number to lock up the third seed is 4. Yep, let's go through it. So Philly, tonight was a real swing game. That's why I'm really happy. Obviously, for those that went the Vegas over/under as well, I think that was 53. We're still a real shot. Shout out to those that got the overs on Vegas to start the season. Brunson, we're going to hear his quotes right now, because Brunson spoke on his ability now to be cleared for full basketball activities. So we got Philadelphia eliminated. We got our G League squad, a franchise record now, 35 wins. And they'll be in the playoffs. They'll be in the G League playoffs as well, fam. So, where are these quotes? I've got from JB. I had it earlier. Yes, here we go. Good old Begley. with the quote. So Brunson said his recovery from ankle sprain is going well. He's been cleared for full basketball activities in practice. He said, realistically, I'm hoping to play before the postseason starts to get some court time ahead of the playoffs. So yes, sir. That means that JB wants those extra 4 games. He wants to qualify also for All NBA honors. So I do feel like, yeah, he'll probably be back for some point in the final week of the season. April 6th starts with Phoenix, Boston on the road, Detroit at home, Cleveland on the road, then Brooklyn at home as well. So does he return for that Boston game? Let us know what you think. Based on the recent news, I feel like Brunson will be back. I think he'll want to get in proper rhythm, and I like that if that happens, because you can't just flip a switch, and play the first game in the playoffs. You have to get some rhythm, and you have to test that ankle out. But I wouldn't bring him back too early either, because that can increase the chances of going through something else. So basically, ATL, I think, is the earliest, 5th of April, and that would still allow him to play 6 games. Right? Let's say we beat Philly next. Cleveland, you don't play him in that one. 2 days rest, more practice, and yeah, bring him back maybe against ATL, maybe on that road trip in Phoenix, ladies and gents. So I do think that JB is definitely going to play a regular season game, especially based on today's quotes. And I do think it's going to be probably in the final 6 to 5 games, fam. And he gets that All NBA call. And maybe he helps us get to the 53 wins, fam. 47, I do think it's going to be touch and go. I think it's either going to be 51, 52, 53, possibly, depending on what Boston do in that final week, whether they rest people. It could be what they do, what happens with Cleveland as well. Cleveland have got nothing to play for, fam. And so, yeah, I think that is the situation right now, fam. So yeah, I'm still going 52. I still think that's a realistic possibility, man. 5 more wins. I do think one of them is Philly, one of them's ATL, one of them's Phoenix, and then 2 out of the Boston, Detroit, Cleveland, Brooklyn, 2 or 3 out of those ones, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, Houston. Dante DiVincenzo brawled tonight with Detroit. That's what's up, man. Playoff mode, playoff vibes right now. Yeah, those 2 are locked in, 60, 63 apiece in the third quarter as well. The Bucks about to go down as well to the Atlanta Hawks. So that is interesting. The Hawks will get closer to possibly catching the Bucks. Right. The Bucks are way down, man. Obviously, maybe no Giannis tonight. Down 22. Let's take a look at the standings right now, because ATL is only 5 games back of the Bucks. If they win tonight, they'll go within 4 games of the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's not a given. It's more likely that the Bucks still finish 6th. They'll probably pick up a few more wins and possibly hold on to the 6th spot. But if the Hawks win tonight, which it looks like they will, they'll pull within 4 games of the Bucks. It's still quite a bit to overcome. But man, the Orlando Tragic could be a chance as well. You just never know, man. The Bucks could be in free fall, man. But obviously, it'd be catastrophic for them, man. Now with tonight's win and Indy losing last night, shout out to Indy losing last night. The Knicks now have a 4-game cushion on the Indiana Pacemakers, so we are basically all but guaranteed the 3rd seed right now, man. Win 3 more games, 2 to 3 more games, and we're basically a lock, fam. Maybe an Indiana loss and another win, and the Knicks have guaranteed the 3rd spot. I'm feeling good about it, fam. Hopefully we do get the Bucks, though. Agent says that Philly game versus the Knicks better come out and play because Grimes still has that grudge. I feel like Grimes probably forgot, man, because he's been on how many teams now? He's been on Detroit, then he got traded to the Mavs, and then they traded him. He probably forget which city he's in right now, man. But yeah, he's balling out. He's just trying to get paid right now. Buzzer Beater says if we can just get past 50 wins and have the whole squad healthy, we will be good. I like that, Buzzer. 100% agree. I think depending on whether you got a parlay or not, really just get the 3rd seed. Don't matter how many wins we finish with, in my opinion. Just get there healthy. But it will be a great thing if Jalen Brunson can play 4 more games, for a couple of reasons, so that he can get some rhythm, and we can see that he's fully healthy and great to go for the first round. And the second thing is that he can get all NBA. Man, this would be the first year in his career that he would get all NBA first team. In my opinion, he has a shot. He made second team last season, of course, but this season, he's been gone to another level. Definitely. The British Bulldog says Agent Argo. I like that. From OG. OG Demon-Obi is my nickname for him. Neymar, salute. Do you think the Knicks get the 2nd seed? Nah, I don't see that, man. Let me just double check how many games. Nah, we can't get the 2nd seed, fam. The 3 seed, that's good enough. I sign up for the 3 seed ASAP, and great health as well. And look, guys are stepping up despite missing some guys, right? Delon Wright. Now's the time to put in an apology form. I know a lot of people were clowning Delon Wright. Cut Delon Wright. He's a scrub. Yeah, he's useless. Don't forget. Look what we gave up. I said it at the time. That you're giving up Jericho Sims, man. You're not giving up prime Michael Jordan. A lot of fans were a little unrealistic at the time. Delon Wright is a steady veteran. He can defend at a higher level at the guard spot. And so it was insurance. That it was nothing more, nothing less, but it was insurance for the guard spot. And this is what I tweeted out, man. This was my February 6th reaction to the trade deadline, and Delon Wright liked it on X. He showed us some love. Delon Wright. I said, Delon's move to the Knicks adds a bit more balance to the roster with Mitch returning and Huck emerging. Wright will be a vet in the backcourt as insurance. Ball handle, can guard okay on the wing at 6'5". We move. Thank you, Jericho. That's receipts, ladies and gentlemen. February 6th. Delon Wright sees all of this, man, and he showed us some love as well. He tweeted this out after the last game, after the great game performance in Milwaukee. He liked the reply as well, and we see a lot of Knicks Nation getting after it, talking about it. He's answered a lot of a lot of critics at that point, man, and I'm happy for the man, and I do think he probably sticks right now. It'd be tough to waive him for PJ Tucker, man. I mean, you probably see a reverse reaction if the Knicks were to cut Delon Wright just to bring in PJ Tucker and somebody else. I think fans would probably be a little bit puzzled now that Delon Wright's shown that he's been steady, serviceable. So next up, OG Anunoby over his last 5 games heading into tonight, man. all defensive type player, but offensively is on another level right now. Could he be in the most improved player conversation right now? He's not going to win it, but could he be in the conversation right now? Because he's really stepped up. All-round game, man. Wing stop, fully operative, and he's definitely scoring in bunches right now. AP says CT, if the Knicks finish with 50 wins, get the third, is that really an improvement from last year? I asked because the payroll did go up. I think it's an improvement based on the adversity. You know, I think the injuries really this season did damper our and the new piece of Cat integrating him on the eve of training camp. But I won't evaluate until the playoffs. You know, I'm not going to say whether this season is an improvement or not unless we are until we finish the playoffs. But in terms of regular season, I still think it's been successful. It's put us in position to for the third seed, and now we can make a run. I think that's all you can ask for right now. Yep, some people like Wright. Apology forms coming in. Big time from OG Anunoby, though. And man, another game ball, another night. Right. Is he become the second, possibly third still most important player, most inexpendable player on this team? No doubt about it. But it does help that Mikal Bridges has really stepped up offensively as well, fam. And Tibbs is smiling tonight, despite these ridiculous officials trying to ruin the ball game, man. We're the only team that doesn't get home cooking, man, on our home floor. Let me bring up the reaction, man, from Tibbs. He had to use 2 challenge calls tonight, and he got them successful. It was obviously pretty obvious blunder from these officials, but Tibbs went into his bag and reversed the calls twice, and I think they were game changers. One of them we hit a 3. I think we were down 7. We hit a 3 straight away to eat into the lead as well. So let's dial up a grade for Tom Thibodeau and give us your play of the night tonight. Anyone that's just joining us, welcome in. Salute to you. Like and subscribe. My favorite Clydeism as we celebrate Clyde's 80th is slicing and dicing. Man, I love a slashing Knicks point guard, shooting guard, Allen Houston, Spreewell, Marbury, Linsanity, Ray Felton, Jalen Brunson, slicing and dicing to the rack, man. And God bless Tibbs. God bless Clyde on his 80th, I was going to say. And obviously, man, he's just been an absolute legend of the New York Knicks and many years to come. But hopefully many, many more years to come as well from OG Demon Obi. As I give Tibbs a B+ for tonight, man. He came correct in the second half. The first half, the defense was lackluster, but he got the challenge calls really spot on tonight. But look at OG at full stretch, man, getting into that passing lane. That's what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen, heading into the playoffs real soon. Omar says, are we not going to talk about how the team is not maximized without the ball dominance of Brunson? Not saying we're better without him. I'm just saying you can see how his ball dominance is hurting the team. I think definitely, in the first 3 quarters, the ball could move better. I never have any problem, me personally, and I appreciate your take. Me personally, I never have any issue with the player dominating the ball in the fourth quarter because I've just seen that growing up. The best player has the ball in their hands down the stretch. Kobe, you have Michael. You always had the go-to player. But definitely, I think there is something to be said about being too ball dominant throughout the early parts of the game. Getting guys in rhythm early is important. First quarter, second quarter, get guys their shots, get them, in their spots. But also, what I've learned is we're less predictable. It sometimes does look like we're more dominant when the ball moves, but also it's because we are less predictable. The defense just doesn't have that Brunson out there that they're going to be like, okay, everything's going to run through Brunson. Let's focus on Brunson. Let's shut him down. When Brunson's not there, like tonight, the Blazers are like, okay, what do? We trap McCall, then he passes it to Shamet, or Shamet then kicks it out to a cutting OG. And so, yeah, you are less predictable. But obviously, down the stretch, you need that bucket getter, in my opinion, still. You'll never win a championship without that bucket getter late, a dominant bucket getter. It's just the way that it goes, fam, in the playoffs. Regular season ball is a little different. But yeah, that doesn't also take away from the fact that the ball has to move better. Exactly like you said. The ball has to move better, and we can be less predictable. Patrick Salute says Delon Wright at the right time, right place, right time, man. And OG will be an all-star next season. Yeah, let's not forget that OG is, he's in his prime, man. 27. He just turned 27, or he's 26. A lot of people threw shade on the contract. Was it an overpay a little bit? What people thought? Well, guess what? Hindsight's 2020, but the salary cap's going up now. And we got some crazy contracts in the league. We got Jeremiah Grant on 60 mil. Damian Lillard, a shell of his former self, is on 60 million. Contracts are going up. OG was locked in for 5 years, fam. Not 4, not 3, not 2, for 5 years at that number. And as each passing year goes by in his contract, the salary cap continues to go up. And so by the time that third, fourth year of his contract, $42 million, man, that's going to look like chump change. I kid you not, because of the new Amazon TV deal is about to kick in. Like I said, bloated contracts going around the league. I mean, just compare it to his counterparts. Guys like on 60 million. Starting point guards, even just off their rookie contracts, like, De'Aaron Fox. Well, not De'Aaron Fox because he's been in the league a little longer, but maybe a guy like Josh Giddey from the Bulls. He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid 30 plus. And you compare that to OG Anunoby, who scores better than Josh Giddey, defends better than Josh Giddey, and there might only be a $5 to $10 million difference in their salary, and Giddey's just come off a rookie deal. So it was a solid contract, but it was definitely with an eye for the future. When Leon was given those out. When you give a guy a 5-year contract, you're not really just paying them for what they are today. You're also paying them for what you think they are going to be for the in the future. So that is really important as well, fam. But yeah, you guys are on fire tonight. Next up, Buzzer Beater says, little disappointed we didn't get TJ Warren. We could have used his scoring, though, even on a 10-day. Possibly, fam. We'll never know for sure. Definitely he's got talent. He can score with the best of them. I was at one point really high on him coming on board as well. I hear what you're saying. I think things change day to day within the organization. The front office is always evaluating. They're evaluating every day, asking the coach, what does he see? And maybe a guy like Delon Wright, maybe he gelled with the locker room. Maybe it's like he was the guy, the candidate that was going to get cut. And maybe they changed their mind. Maybe TJ Warren, had a couple. He did have a couple down nights in the G League as well. He was on a tear, but he did have a few down nights as well. Scoring guard, maybe he could have taken Landry Shamet's spot earlier in the season, but yeah, here we are now. Guys are stepping in and taking their opportunities. But yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that TJ Warren has cut ties with Westchester. He's looking for the next opportunity now. You know, he was hoping to get a call up. There's no need for him to be hanging around Westchester no more, man. Give these young Bulls their playoff shine. And with that said, 35-win season now, the single season franchise record for the Westchester Knicks. As you see, you don't see TJ Warren because he has left the Westchester club. But we will see Beauchamp. We will see Anton Watson. We'll see Kolek possibly. We'll see Moses Brown. We'll see Kevin McCullough. We'll see Pacome Dardier. We'll see Johnny Davis. We'll see Chuma Akeke. And we'll see Boo Buie with the Westchester club. So that is stacked. That's a pretty stacked Westchester club, man. Wish them the best as they kickstart the playoffs. I think most of the games will be free on YouTube. If it's an off night, I might do a live stream. Maybe we'll do some Westchester look-in as well. Obviously, if it's a night, though, where the Knicks aren't playing, they'll send Pacome Dardier, Kolek, and all of them. They'll send them down, maybe get some reps. Maybe not Kolek if he's still needed in the rotation, but guys like Dardier, Beauchamp, and those guys, they'll definitely get playoff minutes. Family. So another thing to feel good about, man. We can take a victory lap right now as we're about to hit the playoffs. We're buzzing and it's money time. Well, what time is it for Philadelphia as we hit the city of brotherly love? Next up, eliminated, man. Was it Tim Bontemps and a lot of other people gave Philadelphia the off-season victory? They said they were the best off-season moves, man. Well, how has that panned out, man? Joel Embiid's extension is looking like one of the worst contracts in the NBA now. Paul George, you could throw in that contract as well. That's looking like one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now. Couldn't even make the play-in. How's that for the best off-season last summer, man? Eliminated Philly, right? We basically ended the process last year, man. We took their best swing. They were throwing haymakers at us, and we closed them out in Philadelphia, man, at the Els Fargo, where Brunson stayed hot as well. So what a crazy turn of events, man, and what a situation where 9 months can change so much, you know. And that is where the Knicks have done well to get to where we are. We've dealt with expectations. We've dealt with Cat, a massive new piece. We've had to get Mitchell Robinson fully rehabilitated and deal with the Brunson injury right now. And we're still in the 3rd seed. Philadelphia made all those moves. And I must admit, I didn't think they would be missing out on the play-in. You know, I didn't think they would be 3rd. But I thought they would at least be 5th, 6th, 7th. Maybe somewhere around there, fam. As well. Omar says we're about to stomp Philly out. GK says F Philly. Buzzer says it's money time. Most def. And Buzzer says the Sixers operate like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, that breaks down constantly. You know what, man? We laugh at them right now. They did actually get lucky in a few regards. Quentin Grimes fell in their lap. Jared McCain, looking like he could have won Rookie of the Year if he stayed healthy. And they got some young players that could at least maybe feel good about moving for the future with them, man. But they lucked into those situations. Yeah, G Money, I like that heart laser pass to Delon Wright. That was my play of tonight. As I'll bring that up right now. Patrick says ball movement's always better. You know, getting guys in their right spots, you know, and maybe we have unlocked bridges without Brunson. I'm willing to fully buy into that because you see tonight, man, Mikal was fully locked in because he knew the shots were coming and he knew where they were going to come from as well. So yeah, where we at? Heart with the dart. This is the one. G Money. Heart with the dart. Player movement, ball movement is great. Man, I got to see this. Shez V says crazy fight in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm going to look that up. I'm definitely hearing about some tempers flaring in the West out there. One ball dominant is very predictable too, risky because they know. Yeah, look, we do get into a bit of trouble with teams picking up Brunny full court. Knowing that we are a slow-paced offense. That's where our defense has to really be our offense, guys. I really mean that. We're not the '90s team with Oak, Mason, Ewing. We're obviously much more talented offensively, but at the same time, we need to tap in to that, that defensive mindset where, hey, if we get stops, we're going to get out and run, and we're going to get these role players that can't really shoot. We're going to get them going, and especially like Hart, Wright, Kolek, Precious, all of those guys thrive in the paint, actually. And so, yeah, tonight, points in the paint. The Knicks won. The Knicks lost second chance points, 10-4. We won the fast break points. So that's my argument. That's my point right there. Defense, we won the fast break points, even though we're a slow-paced team, because the defensive stops, 10 blocks tonight, 10 steals, is absolutely, that's 90s vintage out here. And we won points in the paint. Shout out to Mitch, Cat, and the rebounders tonight. Who pulled in the most rebounds? We had OG pull in 7, Hart 8, Cat pulled in 11, Mitch 4, Shamet 4 rebounds. That's great from Shamet, 4 rebounds in 20 minutes. Precious 2. Kolek gave us 2 rebounds, ladies and gentlemen. Probably some garbage time rebounds, but hey, I feel you. Ball movement is big. Deuce McBride needs to up his playmaking as well when he gets back too. So let's see what happens with PJ Tucker, man. Let me update the graphic because PJ Tucker, man, is he going to be packing up his sneaker collection or is he going to be hanging around right now? Let's see what happens, man. He's negotiating. I'll be surprised if they use the 210 days and don't keep him around. But if it makes sense, such as maybe a guy like Beauchamp has looked impressive, in practice, and and they feel like an active body like him on the wing. Who knows? It could be a factor like that. Really, PJ is not going to play, and so Huck Porty is going to return. Maybe they like Anton Watson. It could be someone. Maybe it's somebody not with the team. What would you do? What would you do, guys? Yeah, Mikal Bridges has become a different dude without Brunson. He's kind of forced to grow up. AP says, CT, what happened out in Memphis? I don't know the particulars, but I can speculate. I feel like they knew that they were going to move on, and they kind of just got to jump on the decision. I think it's smart still, because I'm not saying it's smart to fire the coach, if you're still undecided. But if you are decided that, hey, he's not going to be the guy to come back, then just let him go now. Let him go now and open the door for a free agent coach. If you wait all the way to the off season, you kind of lose that early jump. Like now they could start interviewing, for example. They could start speaking to other coaches. Maybe there's some hot free agents out there, man. Maybe they think that a guy like Tibbs could be available. Maybe they feel like Jeff Van Gundy from the Clips. Maybe they're talking to his agent. Basically, they just pulled the cord, I think. And I think that's what happened. Jenkins, I don't think it was to do really with anything recent. I think they made their decision out there, fam. But yeah, there's some stuff in that locker room going on with Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, beefing with Salty Aldama. It's kind of crazy. Buzzer says, let's see how Macau performs in the postseason before we start sending apologies. Fair point, but you can also give him credit now because he's definitely stepping up in a major way. And this is the Bridges that we expected. So I'm not saying he's doing anything that we haven't seen. It's just if this is the Macau we had got from the get-go, I think we'd be more than satisfied, fam. Now, the interesting question is going to be, what do you pay the man? Obviously, like you said, we've got to wait for the playoffs, and that'll answer a lot of questions. But right now, it's tough to know, man. What do you pay? How much do you pay Macau Bridges? Does a player become available in the off season where you're like, man, I want to get in on that and see if I can get that player. I know what a lot of fans are thinking, man. If there's a chance to get Dante DiVincenzo back, and it takes a Mikal Bridges to get in conversation, then maybe some fans will be torn. That's all I'll say, because I know a lot of fans are hoping we can get Devo, the big Ragu, back, but it certainly looks like Mikhal's found his jumper, man, because we rewind to early in the season. His jumper didn't look this smooth right now. Quick release, no hitch, flick of the wrist. That's the jumper that I thought he was coming in with, man, back from the Phoenix days. And maybe it is all in the mind, that he's not having to think. He's not having to, process. He's just, Brunson's out. We need the offense, and get to work. Get cooking right now. Because who else is going to take it? Cat's not really creating a shot right now. Hart's standing around passing up shots. And, the point guards are doing their thing, getting it side to side. Shamet's hitting some shots now. Maybe it's contagious. Maybe Macau getting loose has also been contagious for Shamet getting loose, man. David, do I like Jenkins for the Knicks? Nah, definitely not. I would pass on Jenkins for the Knicks. AP says Tibbs hopefully is available for them. What about JVG? Like I mentioned, Jeff from the Clippers. He's definitely dipped his toes back into the coaching as an assistant. Does that mean that he's hoping maybe to get back into the main seat? To me, you don't really come out of retirement to become an assistant if maybe you haven't thought about getting back into the big chair, to the big seat right now. And I won't be surprised if Jeff Van Gundy gets back into the league. I think he will be a hot commodity. If I'm the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm definitely looking at him. I do think they need a little bit of tough love out there. Maybe they could be liking Tibbs as well. Maybe the Houston Rockets could be looking at Van Gundy again, but they have obviously Ime Udoka, so that's probably not likely. I do think Philadelphia is probably likely to part ways with Nick Nurse out there. Or have they already? I forget. Let us know in the chat. Have they already parted with Nick Nurse? I feel like either he's on the brink, or maybe he's still going to be let go. But yeah, man, I can't get over how aggressive OG is playing right now, man. I mean, this reminds me of not many Knicks we've had, but maybe a Latrell Sprewell. He wears number 8. gets out in that passing lane, aggressive. That's definitely a Latrell kind of move, man. Turns on the Jets, double-handed slam. That's got Latrell Sprewell written all over it, fam. Yeah, AP says Van Gundy is the same as Tibbs. Yeah, maybe if we part with Tibbs, we might be looking at something different, a younger kind of dude. GK says move forward, not back. Shares V says Dante was in the middle of that big fight tonight. Yeah, I got to check that out, man. I'm not going to bring it up at the moment. I don't want no copyright stuff at the moment. But yeah, D Grant, appreciate you. Nick Nurse was let go by Philly. Yeah, I feel like that had happened already. So yeah, they are looking for someone. And hey, Daryl Morey might be the one to be let go as well. If I'm Philly, I mean, they went from Elton Brand and they went back to Daryl Morey. He gave out some of the worst contracts. I mean, how smart does LA Clippers look now letting PG walk? They weren't going to pay him. What did he want? 120? He wanted like 100 and something million plus. D Grant says, I think the Grizzlies are looking at a Sam Cassell. I could see that as well. Similar to a Chauncey Billups kind of era. Chauncey, Sam Cassell. Chauncey's had some success recently, and look, the Blazers' future looks solid with the right recruitment. Defensively, they're not quite there yet. I think they're pretty porous late tonight, but we were getting out in transition. The jury is still out though offensively. They were very, jack up threes tonight, Portland. They're very athletic, but not a whole lot of great plays. They were bailed out by Avdija and Simmons as well. So yeah, Nick Nurse has been let go. Be interesting, man. Maybe some college prospects, college coach prospects could be the next guy to get a big opportunity. Omar says we need Dante in that orange and blue. We need that Dante in orange and blue. Yep, the moxie, the passion, the fire and desire. To be fair, I agree, but I feel like there's some guys that we have that still can do that. They've been quiet. I think OG's showing me a lot of emotion and a lot of confidence and passion now, and some feistiness. And I do think OG would be a guy to get into it in the playoffs. He got into it with Dorian Finney-Smith. He stepped in, and I think he's a guy that likes to mix it up. He likes physicality. Hart likes physicality, but he's not really going to step to no one. We all know Cat and Brunson, they're gonna avoid confrontation. It is what it is, unfortunately. I mean, I can't change who they are as people. As players, they're excellent. If I could change anything about Brunson or Cat, I would love them to show a little bit more confrontation. Like that time, when Brunson gets put on the deck, he gets, hacked and whacked. I would like Brunson to really show that feistiness, or somebody else at least. We'll see what it is. Notice ever since Mitch got back, no one's really tried any sort of funny business with us. Like no dice rolling, no. Obviously our play's been solid, but yeah, I've noticed that no one's really tried any funny business since Mitch got back. Just having that extra big man on the bench was big. I do think a guy like Huck Porty can get into it. Look out for him in the future. I think he's a guy that could get into some confrontations as well. Delon Wright was definitely active, animated tonight. Michael Dollar says Van Gundy walked out on the Knicks. Keep Tibbs, says Michael D. Van Gundy did walk out on the Knicks. It was a long time ago, though. And I think fences have been mended between Dolan and himself. He talked about how much he regrets it. But yeah, I'm not advocating for Van Gundy to come back to the Knicks. I was starting that conversation regarding some of the other teams. He's too similar to Tibbs. Basically, he's the same kind of thing. But I do think he'd be perfect for like a Memphis, possibly a Philly. With that said, I do think that the New York Knicks will keep Tibbs if they have a solid playoff run. Right, he just got extended. I think they'll definitely give him another year at least with the continuity. But if we were to be a first round exit, that's where things could get dicey for Tibbs. If he makes the second round, I think he's safe. I think he's safe enough, regardless of how the second round looks. Maybe if we get swept in the second round, maybe. But if we win one game, maybe if we lose in 5 in the second round to a Boston or a Cleveland, I still think Tibbs would come back. But look, yeah, Leon could surprise me. Leon could surprise us. Also, yeah, D. Grant says Van Gundy's too much like Tibbs. And AP says, does anyone know about Rick Brunson as a coach? I think he's still got to serve his dues as an assistant, but I could see one day. He's still very, very young. Obviously, he's very young. He's a player in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. I think Brunson could still be an assistant, I think, for a few years, and then I think he could get an opportunity. Maybe Jerry Stackhouse, Sam Cassell could get that opportunity, fam. I mean, JJ Redick just stepped into a big time deal. Maybe it could be somebody in the media. One of maybe the recently retired players, maybe in the podcast media world, like a JJ. No one really sticks out to me right now. But it's definitely going to be a lottery rebuilding team if they do take one of those risks. Like, if you're Portland, you can kind of take a risk because your timeline is infinite right now. There's no timeline on when they need to win or when they need to win a chip. For Philadelphia, it's different. They have to go for a respected coach. They've got veterans that they're paying big time dollars. They're not going to wheel in some, lack of experienced coach. I think they're definitely going to replace Nick Nurse with someone that's a name in Philadelphia. Now, maybe there's a firing, also with the Raptors. What's his name? Rojakovic. They've been pretty underwhelming in Toronto as well. D. Cool says Juwan Howard or Ewing could be names to look out for as well. I still feel like Ewing deserves a shot, but his name was hot previously. Now it's not so hot, So yeah, I don't know if teams are going to look that way. I could see maybe Charlotte, but then Jordan did sell. I could see Charlotte giving Ewing a real head coaching job, but right now they've got Charles Lee. They're kind of rebuilding. Michael also wants Moses Brown in PJ's spot. That could be a possibility, man. Maybe they're looking at Huck Porty's meniscus recovery, looking at maybe that it's going to take a little longer. Also, I won't be surprised if it's Beauchamp possibly as well. Salvador says, been saying for years, hire Mike D'Antoni as an offensive coach. Dolan can financially make it happen. My solution with Tibbs. Yeah, I understand. I appreciate the suggestion. I think D'Antoni would be solid as a consultant / offensive coach. I just don't think, and from everything I've heard about Tibbs, that he doesn't want to bring in any outsider. It makes sense in theory, 100%. But unfortunately, Tibbs is not open unless he's forced to bring in an outsider. All of the guys there are his guys, and Johnny Bryant basically, whether I think he decided to move on, but he knew that he was the only non-Tibbs guy. And all the guys there, Darren Erman, Dice Yoshimoto, who are the other guys? Andy Greer, all those guys are Tibbs guys, and even a team like Pelicans, when they had Willie Green, he had D'Antoni as a consultant. He wasn't on the bench, he wasn't with the team, but they were just paying him to dial up plays as a consultant, and he would directly give offensive plays to Willie Green. And that was the extent of the relationship. It was basically like a scout. You pay a scout for your organization to go around and watch games and scout players. The Pelicans were paying D'Antoni to just be a consultant and draw up plays for Willie Green. Now, I would love that for the New York Knicks, but yeah, we seem to want to keep everything in-house. And right now, Tibbs wants his offense, unequivocally. He doesn't want no one else's offense, man. Tibbs does have an ownership kind of complex where he wants to own everything. He wants to do it his way. He wants to have his assistants as well. But yeah, right now, reading and reacting, our players have to get better and improve daily, intellectually, IQ-wise. Deuce McBride could still learn a lot in the off-season, man, from the perspective of playmaking. Tyler Kolek, we already know what he has to work on. It's not the playmaking. He has to work on getting stronger. Shooting the three-point shot is going to be key. Because if they go under screens, Kolek has to make them pay. IQ for Huck Porty, discipline, don't foul, stay on your feet. All of the same things that Mitchell Robinson had to work on. But yeah, also offensively, Brunson could work on some playmaking as well. Reading and reacting still. Bridges. I don't think Cameron Payne comes back next season. I just got a feeling that between Deuce, Kolek, and whoever else is going to be available, I don't think Cam Payne will come back, but we'll see, if he's willing to take another veteran's minimum, but it just could be too much of a crowded locker room between Kolek, him, Deuce, and maybe somebody else. You've got to clear the runway. You've got to clear the runway for your young players to take those minutes. For them to step in. If they show they're ready, of course, that's what training camp, preseason, and now is all about when it comes to these guys. But look, so far so good for Tyler Kolek. Steady, heady veteran, steady, heady point guard, plays like a veteran. Didn't score any points tonight, and that's the main weakness Kolek has to work on, but was still +9. I didn't think it was really a liability out there. I was kind of worried early in the game that they were going to go to him each and every time. But yeah, the Blazers just ran their offense. They were shooting a lot of threes, bailing us out. And Kolek kind of held his own defensively, I felt. Drew the charge tonight. Shout out to him for drawing the offensive foul. And look, that's his role right now. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Ease him in so that he can get his confidence going. And right now, I think the Delon Wright trade is really paying off, for the Jericho deal right now. He's not going to wow nobody. He's probably not going to play after Brunson and Deuce return and the playoffs come. But he's a veteran that, is there for break glass in case of emergency. And solid veteran insurance right now. Patrick says the Sixers are not maximizing Maxi's time. Definitely. But look, Maxi hasn't really taken the big step, in my opinion, since the playoffs. D. Grant says doing everything Tibbs' way leads to a second-round exit. D'Antoni would diversify the offense. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm cool with Tibbs defensively. I think he's too rigid in his ways, and inflexible. But at the end of the day, I think he will eventually run out of runway if we don't, win soon enough, fam, or if we don't show growth every season. Right? You can't. The problem is the bar is very high. You can't stagnate. You can't procrastinate. It was second round, then it was second round. If it's second round again, eventually a coach is going to run out of runway. Woodson has left Indiana. I don't see Woody coming back, but we had a great run. We had a great run with Woody. Is Dice a good coach? Look, he's an assistant. He's an assistant coach. He won't be a head coach in the NBA, I don't feel. Obviously, that could there be the first team that gives Becky Hammond an opportunity? That's still out there. Patrick says, when Brunson and Deuce come back, would the ball movement remain the same or more? That's the $1 million question. I feel like Brunson is still going to be ball dominant because that's just the way Tibbs operates his offense. He did it with, Derrick Rose in Chicago. Does it with us, with Brunson. Tibbs's offense is very point guard centric, point guard dominant in terms of he's always had a scoring point guard with Derrick Rose, Minnesota, and here as well. And so I feel like it's up to Brunson to, understand the situations on the court, get guys going when they're in rhythm. Like if there's one thing we've seen with Brunson now is that Kolek knows, okay, like Bridges is in rhythm. Like I'm gonna hit him again and again, and Bridges knows that he can cut. We're running more plays, setting screens, all of that, and that is his strength, right? I think Bridges was too much stand around in the corner when Brunson was with us, and you could say that is on Brunson some, that is also on the coach to fail to utilize your full personnel. Like how have we been able to see Landry Shamet get active? Well, he's always moving, he's always cutting, and you've got to find, the point guard has got to find these shooters, man. If they're just standing around in the corner, right, the offense can stagger. And I do think that OG and Bridges standing in the corner every possession is a little bit of a waste. Yes, you might not have Cat, shoot every shot, but you could still use Cat as a playmaker. You could have Cat come up the top, set screens to free up Bridges and be a decoy. And then if he can't free Bridges, then he can cut back door and be the decoy. But I feel like with Tibbs, he's not utilizing the full personnel of the team offensively. So I would never put Brunson at the top of the issue. I would put the coach. I would say the coach, then it's the point guard, and then it's the players to figure it out. It's a very talented bunch, and we've seen guys can do different things. Now we've seen Bridges can really, take his shot, get active, get downhill. But yeah, you also have to find the man because he can't bring the ball up the court every time. It's usually Brunson. It's sometimes Josh Hart or Cameron Payne as well. So that's one of the reasons I'm not bringing Cameron Payne back. We all know Cam Payne can get a shot. We've seen that, man. We all know Cam Payne never seen a shot that he doesn't like, just like J.R. Smith. But it's to the detriment, I think, of the rest of the unit. And we do need him to score for this season. But for next season, definitely, I don't hesitate to give the keys to Tyler Kolek as the backup. And maybe you have another younger guard, behind him that's, ready to learn the ropes, or maybe you have an older veteran like a Delon Wright behind Tyler Kolek just in case. But you give Tyler Kolek the chance, I think, next season, right? Because he gets guys going. He gets guys in their pockets. Mike Woody Woodson was ISO Joe, ISO Mello. Definitely Salvador with that one. I think we need a coach also offensively that could get the best out of the team. Defensively, we've had some issues with drop coverage, but I do think, assuming they're not going to start Cat at the 5 next season, I'm assuming that it's going to be Mitchell Robinson or it's going to be somebody else, or they're going to play major minutes together. And yeah, I agree, David. Brunson can average 20 and 10 easily with the squad. But just get ready for when it's money time and the offense will slow down. It is going to be a lot of Brunson. But the idea of getting good 3-point shooters is that he can hit them. He needs to hit them. He needs to hit them. What I think we can do better with Brunson, though, is get him easier looks, get him downhill easier. Double screen, like San Antonio, Portland. A lot of these heavy point guard scoring teams, do a lot of different things to get their point guards freed up. Golden State with Steph Curry. We don't even usually set a screen for Brunson after he's getting picked up full court. Nobody comes to free him up. He's got a guard draped on him and he's having to shake them off. Right. That's on the coach. Because if Brunson can get daylight and he can get around the corner, get downhill, that's when Brunson is at his best. He can play make, he can hit the floater, he can step back with drop coverage and hit the mid-range, he can slice to the cup and finish if they come up on him. But all of that is very difficult if we don't free Brunson up. We allow these guys like Kelly Oubre, we allow the coaches to put a 6'8", 6'9" guard wing on him and make life difficult. To me, it's stupidity and it's too stubborn as well, There's got to be a counter for that. If they want to put a 6'9" wing on Brunson, then Cat should have somebody that he can post up. Somebody should have their opposing point guard that they can take to the paint, whether it's Bridges, Cat, Hart. So look, Tibbs has got a lot of work to do, for him to win a playoff series, multiple playoff series. It's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of schemes coming from the opposing coach that is going to try to put us in our weak spot, and it's going to be up to this man, I think, to help us get out of it. Now, fortunately, it looks like we're set to face the Milwaukee Bucks, and they have Doc Rivers, who I think is one of the coaches that I could see Tom Thibodeau still out coaching and winning that series. So that doesn't say a lot about Doc Rivers. They do probably have the best player on the court in Giannis, but after him, the Bucks probably don't even have the next best 6th or 7th player after him. Right, so the Knicks should win that series, but against the Boston, that's where Tibbs' coaching is really going to come under a lot of scrutiny, and the spotlight is going to be on the Mecca. Now, the New York Knicks, 20 games over 500 again. Shout out to the squad. No Jalen Brunson. They're gritting out these wins now. And we are a very tough team to beat when the ball is moving and the defensive effort is there to match right now. But there's no doubt that OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges have upped their level in play with the absence of Jalen Brunson now. Hart is still Hart. Kolek's being great, getting an opportunity. Cat's been a little down, But obviously, if that means that the other guys are getting going, I'm not mad at it, because someone has to really get going now, so that when Brunson gets back, it's full steam ahead. It's full steam ahead when Brunson gets back, and I think he'll be back with about 5 to 6 games remaining. There's 8 games remain, so it's probably going to be against ATL, possibly Cleveland, possibly Phoenix, I think. But I do think we see Brunson back with 4 to 5 to play, so he can get the All-NBA and he can dust off some of that rust, ladies and gentlemen. But it's money time now, and I salute to the chat as well. They were diving and thriving tonight, in the words of Clyde. And what a night it was. Happy 80th for Clyde, and salute to you, the chat, Knicks Nation, replay squad. And here we are, man. Looks like we are going to beat next season's win total. I think we will get over 50 wins now. I think last game tonight was a swing game. Philly up next, and the New York Knicks will have a day rest as well. At least we don't have to travel too much now. Basically, we're all on the East Coast, except for that Phoenix game right now. And let's get it on Tuesday night. Peace, everyone.